Yes, people, right now to some international news. So currently, the chief advisor of government of Bangladesh has released a tweet on X. So this is a statement from chief advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus. So he's talking about basically in Dhaka, the courts of Bangladesh have spoken with a clarity that resonates across the nation and beyond. The conviction and sentencing affirm a fundamental principle: no one, regardless of power, is above the law. Now, this statement is referring to Sheikh Hasina, the previous leader of the Bangladeshi nation. She has been basically found guilty and sentenced to death in terms of a trial that took place in Bangladesh. She was an ousted leader. She escaped to India and she was basically seeking refuge in India and hiding there. But now the Bangladeshi courts have actually released this decision and have sentenced her to death. So it says the verdict offers vital, if basically insufficient, justice to thousands of people who were harmed in the uprising previously last summer. A lot of people were killed, and the families who basically are still suffering from those losses. So it says here we stand at a moment of rebuilding democratic foundations erected by years of oppression. The crime at issue, the ordering of lethal force against young people and children whose only weapons were their voices, violated both our laws and basic bond between the government and its citizens. These acts outrage Bangladeshis' core values, dignity, resilience, and commitment to justice. Now, at the time of the protests, when people were protesting against Sheikh Hasina, the authorities did release security forces who then fired upon a crowd of basically protesters, many of them students from madrasas who were campaigning against this leader for various issues. Many people were killed, and obviously now we see here in this statement some reflection on that. So, as many as 1,400 lives were lost. They were not statistics, but students, parents, and citizens with rights. Months of testimony detailed how lethal force, even from helicopters, was used against unarmed protesters and Bangladeshi civilians. This verdict recognizes their suffering and confirms that our justice system will hold perpetrators accountable. Now, Sheikh Hasina, the daughter of Mujibur Rahman, the previous founder of Bangladesh, I think going back all the way to early 1970s, 1971, when the country came basically gained independence from Pakistan. Bangladesh at the time was known as East Pakistan, and after a war with Pakistani, army forces, they were able to win their independence, supported by India at the time. And then basically after Rahman was, I believe he was assassinated, and then his daughter took control, and his daughter has been in power. So Sheikh Hasina, his daughter, has been in power with the Awami League for at least, decades, basically at the time, before she was ousted by the public. And obviously, in order to oust her, many people had to protest, and many people were killed. Now, after she was ousted and escaped to India, Professor Muhammad Yunus, who's very well acclaimed and has fame around the world for his business and economy initiatives, microfinance initiatives to people from who are suffering from poverty in Bangladesh, providing loans and helping them set up businesses and undertake agricultural works and so on. He took over and basically he's been running it in the interim. So it says here Bangladesh is now rejoining global currents of accountability. The students and citizens who stood for change and understood this, and many paid with their lives, sacrificed their lives, giving their today for our tomorrow. The path ahead requires not just legal accountability, but rebuilding trust between institutions and citizens. I'm guessing the fact that this kind of court judgment, obviously it's a very serious one, sentencing to death the previous leader, Sheikh Hasina, might bring some sort of close to the people that lost their loved ones. Of course, it won't, because that pain will stay with them for probably the rest of their lives. But many people will find that at least there is some sort of element here in terms of accountability for Sheikh Hasina. But obviously, it's about extraditing her from India The Bangladeshi authorities might try and do that, but will India allow this, as Sheikh Hasina was a strong ally of the Indian nation? So it says here, understanding why people risk everything for genuine representation and creating systems worthy of things like, trust is essential. And today's verdict is a step on that journey from the judges in Bangladesh and the courts. So the advisor said, I have every confidence that Bangladesh will meet the challenges ahead with courage and humility, with commitment to the rule of law, human rights, and each person's potential justice will not merely survive in Bangladesh, it will prevail and sustain. Now, that was a tweet by the chief advisor of the government of Bangladesh, representing or mentioning a statement by the chief advisor, the interim leader of Bangladesh, Professor Mohammed Yunus. So that is obviously major kind of issue there, and news as well of the announcement of the death sentence of Sheikh Hasina, the previous Prime Minister and ruler of Bangladesh. But will that actually come to fruition as she's not in the country right now? We will have to wait and see. Do let us know what you think about that in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Catch you in the next one.